Welcome everyone to Magic Insiders. We are presented by International Diamond Center. I started and then I thought I heard a stop, so I apologize for the hiccup. We're good. We're rolling, and it's always something. I'll get this stream figured out sooner or later. But welcome everyone to Magic Insiders, the live stream. Dante Marcatelli, Jake Chapman here with you, and we are giddy. We are happy about that victory last night, Magic fans. How about your Orlando Magic? They are headed to Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas, folks. The Magic will host the New York Knicks. We now know the New York Knicks took care of the Toronto Raptors last night in the Great White North. And now they will be headed to Las Vegas, and we'll see New York for the fourth time this year. I think I read somewhere that between the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Heat, that has been a fourth of our schedule the last year, right? So if you go back to those teams, right? Those teams, if you go back to the last year, that's who we've played. The majority, we've played them already a fourth of 20 times now. If you go back kind of last year, but anyway, the Magic that game will be on Saturday, the 13th. We're excited about that one. The Magic and the New York Knicks in the quarterfinals, but. Jake, we look forward to your comments always, and great to have you guys in here. Kyle Gaming, Will Dawson. I know everybody's pumped about that game last night. We want to break it all down, and it's great to have you with us here on the live stream. I got to do the broadcast with Jake Chapman last night on 96.9 The Game. Jake, that was awesome, man. You have a huge team that we probably should have more people, honestly, but you have a fun team. It's a great atmosphere up there, and that was a lot of fun to be a part of, and you come back from 18-2 down, and you come back and win a basketball game against your in-state rival, the Miami Heat. A lot to like about last night.
It was almost like you and I have a little bit of chemistry. It felt very natural. It felt almost like we've been doing this for like 20 years. Dude, that was so fun. It was a blast having you, obviously. It would have been way less fun had the game panned out like the first 4 or 5 minutes. 15-0, you're down. It just felt like you got kind of slapped across the face, especially when we've been talking the last couple of weeks about kind of getting off to slow starts and trying to figure that out. And you and I sat here yesterday and we talked about how, maybe the Franz news on Monday has kind of a reverse effect from what it felt like coming out of the locker room on Sunday at halftime in the third quarter, where everybody just felt flat. That was obviously not true. It did not seem like it was what happened. It took getting smacked in the mouth, I think. To kind of lock in. And so hopefully you're able to rectify that by Saturday. But with all that said, I mean, I think it's a good matchup for us. I think we play Miami well. We defended so well after the first, 4 or 5 minutes or so. And that place was hopping. And there's always Heat fans. Anytime we play those guys, you understand that. But it was the Magic faithful that prevailed last night. It wasn't just because we were winning on the floor. They brought it. There was an electric energy in that building last night, Dante. And so, look, we're excited about Vegas. We're excited about the Knicks, all of that. Bottom line is you've already won the season series against the Miami Heat.
That's right.
And that's a team that had the same record coming into last night as you did in the Eastern Conference. You know they're going to be there when we look up at the end of March and getting into April and playoff time. So a big win across the board. Your first opportunity to see what it looks like without Franz Wagner. It didn't look great at first, but Desmond Bane is just such a dog. He's just such a winner. He's been in these spots that we haven't been in before. And I think he keeps on proving that, whether it's the Detroit game, the day after Thanksgiving, or last night, or multiple other spots over the course of the year. Anytime it feels like we're up against it, you feel comfortable because you got DB3. So that was awesome last night.
Well, and Desmond Bane finishes with 37 points. So now 3 times this year, his season high has been 37 points. He did it once. It was back-to-back. He had 2 points in the first quarter, Jake. I didn't realize till this morning, going back and looking over everything. Desmond Bane had 2 points after the first quarter. A lot of guys had 2 points after the first quarter.
Right.
Was not a great start. He only had 10 points in the second quarter. So he's going into the half with 12 points. He's your leading scorer. With 12 points, Paolo Banchero had 10, and then he just absolutely exploded after that. He gets you 10 points in the third, and then he pours in 22 points in the first 3 quarters, but he gets you 15 points in the fourth quarter on way to a victory. So you get 37 from him. The Magic have 6 players in double figures. You have 20 points from Jalen Suggs, who had himself another great offensive night, 18 for Paolo Banchero, and there were signs where you could see he was asserting himself when he didn't have triple coverage, even a double team. He can handle a double team, no problem. But when he didn't have a triple team, he was able to finish. And it was, there are signs of the Paolo of old. He is very close to being the Paolo that we expect. Heat also had 6 players in double figures. They're led by Norman Powell with 21 and Tyler Hero with 20. And I love the first of all, you got Will Dawson, you got Kyle Gaming, you got Duval, you got Riley, everybody, and Jake, they're giving me a little flack. They're saying I almost nailed the open, but at least it wasn't the audio this time, right? At least I didn't hear myself coming back. So you guys are savvy. I did have the stream muted, so I was ready to go there.
It wasn't quite a 15-0 start to the show necessarily. You saved it before the snowball.
It was like 7-0. It was like 7-0.
It was like a 7-0 start. Yeah,
like a 7-0 start. You're right. So we ended up getting things reeled in. And now a lot of comments about the Knicks, about Desmond Bane, and fun fact, Bane in The Dark Knight Rises was 37 years old. I don't know. Do you think that's true, Jake? That's from Will Dawson.
I have to trust Will Dawson knows what he's talking about.
Something tells me Will Dawson has seen that movie many times. And so I trust you, Will. I think that's great insight right there. So it only makes sense. That's why Bane stops at 37 every one of these games. But Jake, we've said it before. This is why you go get a Desmond Bane. That's why when the Magic felt the summer was right to go cash in your chips, that's the guy that they had targeted. And it's amazing because I don't think, you read all these mock drafts and rumors, and Magic fans and NBA fans alike are all enamored with that. Nowhere did I see Desmond Bane was even available. So for them to know that and to make that happen was absolutely huge. And, you probably had to give an extra pick or two just to make sure word didn't get out that Memphis was shopping Desmond Bane. You wanted to make sure you were the team that locked him up. But, still, if there's any Magic fans that have a problem with the 4 first-round picks, I mean, I'm willing to go to 8, Jake. I'm willing to go to 8 for what he did last night and for what he means to this team. 37 points. He put you on his back, those broad shoulders, and we said it earlier that day. I'll give us credit for that on Magic Insiders. One of those 5 for 7 from 3 nights is coming. One of those 6 for 9 is coming, and that's what he did last night. 6 for 9 from 3 on the way to a 37-point night.
And it feels like he wakes up with 5 rebounds and 5 assists, right? Like
yes,
that is a given night in and night out. I wish I would have looked this up. I don't know how many times last year somebody made 6 threes on our team, but I have to think I could count it on one hand.
Jalen, I think Jalen had a 6 or a 7 threes, but you got to go back 2 years. Nobody did it last year. There were times we as a team didn't have 6 threes.
Several of them. For sure. And so that was, obviously when you're shooting the basketball like that and when you're spacing the floor, that's the vision of kind of like holistically what we want the offense to look like. But the bottom line is the guy can get you a bucket. Yes. He can knock down a 3 on the kick out. He can create for his teammates. And he doesn't back down. And sometimes we need to sort of funnel that energy in a better direction. But I think it's one of the things this team was missing. He's just got an attitude about him. But I also think, he craves these moments. And I think we as a team, as a young team kind of on the ascent, we want these big spotlight games, but at times, we kind of look like deer in headlights. And Desmond Bane is, whether it's a calming effect or maybe the opposite, maybe it's lighting a fire. I
think it's that. I think he's pushing these guys, challenging them. And I think, I don't think a lot of our guys are wired the way Desmond Bane is outwardly, right? They are competitors. Everyone on that roster is a competitor, but they're not edgy like that, getting in guys' face, not afraid to go at a star, that sort of thing. He brings that element. And you need that element to be successful in the postseason.
You need it to be successful in the postseason. You need it to be successful in big spotlight games like last night and on this trip to Las Vegas. I think that pressure, everybody craves it, but it treats people react differently when the spotlight gets brighter. And I think there's something to that, to be sure. And I think the edge that he's bringing, like we said, like we need him to be available. So we need to make sure that he is that he's controlling it at times. But boy, I mean, the Miami Heat bully teams, and we're not getting bullied anymore. We got a guy who swings back, and even at the end of the game last night, this stuff, like, I'm here for every last bit of it.
Every bit of it.
Let them know on their way out and on their way to the bus that what just happened. I think we're very comfortable with all of that.
Wait till you have Mo Wagner on the floor too. So now you have Mo Wagner and Desmond Bane, right? You're going to hit them from both angles, and I just want to take a second here to make sure we're seeing all of these. A lot of comments and good stuff on Desmond Bane. One question here, and I believe it was from Riley asking, how many years do we have Bane? So we have him this year and 3 more. this year and 3 more. Desmond Bane is under our control for another 3 years, which is absolutely huge at roughly $40 million per. So as the salary cap continues to climb, you're going to add 10% to it every year. That's going to be huge. That's going to be a very manageable number. And you've got him locked up for another 3 years. Stephen Leon, David Steele and Jeff Turner, appreciate your comments. Yeah, they would love to have worked that game last year. We all would love to have been a part of the telecast. It wasn't on FanDuel Sports Network, but I had the opportunity to work with Jake, so that was a blast. Will Dawson said KCP had 7 threes last year against the Spurs on April 1st. So there you go. It was that quick, and it was that memorable because I
that April Fool's?
I did. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. But he may have. Maybe he did. And so we've got Bane, and there's a couple comments on Desmond Bane having done that. Now the question is, and I'll throw this to you, it comes from Cruz. Desmond Bane is exactly what this team needed, and now we got to work it. We got to make sure it can work with Paolo and Franz. So I think that's going to be the thing. We saw Desmond elevate his game in the absence of Banchero. He averaged 24 points a game, the 10 that Paolo was out. Now we don't have Franz, so now he's going to get a good chemistry with Paolo. But the good problem to have for Coach Mosley is you got to make all 3 of them work together. If it's 2 to 4 weeks for Franz Wagner, and there's some comments there, how is Franz doing? A couple people bumped into Franz before the game and said, I've never been so happy to hear an ankle sprain. And he kind of chuckled and said, me too. So he's in good spirits. He's ready to go.
They better not have actually bumped into him.
They were hopefully not. He can take that, though. Anyone in our staff that's going to bump into him is not going to do much to Franz Wagner. I'll tell you that right now. Even without the mask and the broken nose. But he's in great spirits, and he's hoping to get out there soon. But now that's going to be the piece of the puzzle, is trying to put all those 3 together when they're healthy and available.
And challenge accepted if you're Jamal Mosley. I mean, that is exactly what he's looking forward to. And I don't think it's going to be an issue, especially like right now. Paolo, he played 32 minutes last night. You can tell he's trying to figure out exactly how to approach it. And yeah, he's going to have to be more aggressive immediately without Franz in there. But just the nature of the way Desmond Bane plays the game, he's not like the ball doesn't stick. He's either attacking or coming off it, and he's a catch and shoot type guy. So it's not, I don't think it's going to be a your turn, my turn type situation with those 2 guys. Desmond Bane is a complementary player. Now, Franz and Paolo both need the ball in their hands. And so that is, those are 2 guys who I think you could end up in kind of a rut where it's a your turn, my turn type thing. But they've been working on that for 3 seasons now.
Yes.
I think that's I don't anticipate any problems at all with this. And the bottom line is, that's why you made these philosophical changes. So you don't have to do this stuff in the half court where you're trying to figure it out in a phone booth. Defenses are so good right now when they're able to zero in on it. That's why the move to transit, it's where the whole league is moving towards trying to use transition more. And that's why it just made a lot of sense for our roster, the way we're constructed and the way we defend, to make that shift as well.
Well, it's a good point. It's a great point, and we'll see how it all comes together here very soon. I like this comment. Let's see, where was it? I'm looking for this. Well, I was at the game last night. Wish I could have heard you guys on the radio. That was good. This comes from Riley F7M. When will Mo Wagner come back? When will Mo Wagner come back? And I will find the city of Atlantis before I find anyone that'll tell me a date for Mo Wagner to come back. I'm switching to that instead of my NORAD, instead of my missile launch codes.
I think I like that one better.
If I can find anyone in this organization to give me any kind of a timeline on Mo Wagner, I am convinced I will stumble upon the city of Atlantis right here.
Well, now let me say, have you asked?
No, I have not asked, but I have. You kind of know when to ask and when to kind of feel things out, and but hopefully it's close. But what we heard, and it was even as early as training camp, we're on a need to know basis, Jake, and when we need to know is when he's out there. Is when he shows up and he's ready to play one game. But I think, we kind of, it was during training camp in the preseason. The prevailing thought was sometime around Christmas. So, hey, we're getting close to that, right? We're a couple of weeks away. So could it be returning to practice here in the next couple of days? The beauty of this cup thing and going to Vegas is you've got some time to practice now. You're going to leave for Vegas tomorrow. You're going to build in some practices. You're going to either come back if you lose on Saturday, or you're going to stay out there a couple more days of practice. And then you're going to go right to Denver, Colorado, or you're going to come home and practice, then go back. So this could be ideal. And maybe maybe, fingers crossed, you get Mo Wagner at some point on that West Coast trip. Who knows? Again, just speculation, but that certainly would be amazing. We're going to duck in a break here because on the radio version of things on 96.9 The Game, we are up against it, as they say. So we'll duck in a break, and then we'll come back with much more of your comments here in just a moment. Take the stress out of holiday shopping with exclusive fan favorite finds from Magic Authentics, the official store of the Orlando Magic. From jerseys, t-shirts, hats, cool memorabilia, and more, wrap up a holiday surprise they'll never forget. Visit the Magic Authentics team store at Kia Center to score unique gifts for all Magic fans. And for anyone that's interested, Jake and I will be there in about an hour. We're going to head down there and do some shopping ourselves. So we could go from this stream and we can keep the conversation rolling right down there at Magic Authentics. And folks, if you're trying to figure out what to do for dinner tonight with the victory last night, you're getting pizza on Papa John's. 50% off your entire online order. You can use papajohns.com and you can use that promo code MAGICWIN online or in the app. Use that promo code MAGICWIN. We are right back in 15 seconds with more Magic Insiders in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone, to Magic Insiders. We are presented by International Diamond Center. Dante Marcatelli, Jake Chapman here with you. The Magic are back at it on Saturday. Going to leave tomorrow, head to Vegas. Vegas, baby, Vegas. Going to head to Vegas tomorrow to take on the Knicks on Saturday. That'll be the semifinal, game one, the Magic and the Knicks. If they win, they move on and play whoever comes out of the Western Conference. Those are going to be great games. Those start tonight. That'll be fantastic to see who comes out of the Western Conference. So the Magic leave tomorrow, play on Saturday. If they lose that game, they will come home. And then we'll go right back out on the West Coast on the 17th. If they win, they'll stay out there. They'll play the finals on the 16th. And then we've got a game starting a 4-game road trip in Denver, Colorado, coming up on the 18th. And we want to keep those comments coming in, Magic fans. We love hearing from you. And I love it every time I see some new names, too. We love our reliable Magic fans that are on here, Will Dawson, Jay Curve, Duval, all of them. But we also want to make sure we don't miss anybody. We want to welcome some of the new faces and new names that come on here as well. So I look at Nick Monks. Nick Monks, that's a name. There's a lot of K's in there, Nick Monks. But I like that. I love that on TikTok too, so keep those comments coming in. But I guess the upside of Fran's injury is that he can heal two at once. How about that? So he's got the broken nose, Jake. I think that's a good comment. That's a good point too. And I've seen a couple of comments in there as well, just based on the fact that when he comes back, could he be without the mask here potentially when he returns from this high ankle sprain?
I would be interested to see if doesn't Fran. He'll probably get rid of the mask. He doesn't seem like he particularly enjoys it, but right. The way he plays, you think back to Rip Hamilton. Maybe find a mask. I mean, maybe figure out a way in Wendell with the goggles, right? Maybe figure out a way to find a mask that you like, and then just stick your nose in everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we're leaving some meat on the bone with equipment. Let's figure out a way to use this to our advantage if at all possible. But
no, I agree.
I think you're right. I think probably he'll come back clean and fresh, Franz Wagner.
How do you like this from NACENT? Maybe nascent 4196. Can we work in for Franz Wagner? Can he be the Merlin from Berlin? Can you work that in? It's kind of give me your exact reaction to that. The Merlin from Berlin.
It's the emoji. It's I like it, but on a radio call, that's going to be a lot to spit out. So I'm not going to be able to pull that one off.
It's going to be tough. So we'll
keep workshopping. We can keep workshopping.
But then he names himself. It said that this is Alex Castano here. So we appreciate it. Great to have you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
And it's a great comment. And we're going to continue to workshop that. Chris Nick Ruth. So this is shared by 3 people, is what I would assume. Let's see. Greetings from Germany, Chris Nick Ruth. Well, welcome. It's great to have you here from Germany. I think that's fantastic. David Giraldo. I was at the game last night. What an atmosphere. Chris, Nick, Ruth, by the way. I'll be in Germany. I'm going to look for you. So let's
He
see
said
if
bring
we
him
can
some swag. They said they don't have the new rebranded stuff in Germany yet. We're gonna fix that. I got a feeling by January there'll be plenty of new rebranded.
All the gear you can get your hands on, no question about it. At the game last night, what an atmosphere! And the brothers Wagner returning together would be an epic moment for the Wagners, the Magic, and Germany. Do you think it would be that long? Could we possibly not see them and then they both come back in Berlin? Would be an unbelievable return. You could helicopter them in and everything. I mean, you make it as dramatic as you want.
Goosebumps. I'm fired
up. I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's a great idea. But man, I'm hoping we get them back before that. That's just me.
I agree 100%. I'm gonna take a quick left turn real quick. Prying AA said, great game last night. Let's talk about that spark from number 35. I thought Goga Batadze, might have been the best game that he's played all season. And
okay, Jake, you were on that. You were on that right away. What was it about Goga last night?
He was aggressive protecting the rim. He ends up with 2 blocks, but he was changing shots. And, he played 17 minutes, grabbed 6 boards. He was a plus 11 while he was on the floor. I thought the second unit, especially late in the first and into the second quarter, I mean, you go down, 16 points. And then in the second quarter, you scored 39 points. And the defense got better as the game went on. But I just thought I thought Jonathan Isaac and Desmond Bane said something after the game about the spark that J.I. brought. He was plus 13 in 12 minutes, didn't score a point, didn't take a shot. That is how Jonathan Isaac can impact the game.
Think about that.
I thought Goga was right there with him. Defensively is where our depth really showed last night. I thought both Goga and J.I. were in the middle of all of that.
Well, 2 guys got shout-outs from Coach Mosley in the locker room last night. Obviously, Desmond Bane, the player of the game, but it was Goga Batadze and it was Jalen Suggs. Jalen continues to excel offensively. He's been terrific here the last stretch of games. He goes for 20 more last night. I think he's right around 20 a game here now the last 4. So he's been coming along offensively, and the Magic get that win last night against Miami. But that's the beauty of Goga Batadze. He can do that. He has him in it. He has it in him. And, I look at a guy like Anthony Black, who makes his 5th start of the season. Yeah, he finishes with 10 points. He had 7 assists. He had 3 rebounds. He had a steal in 34 minutes worth of work. And I know some of those shots didn't fall, but, man, he was aggressive. And I think you got 15 shot attempts up, made 5 of them. But I was very impressed, understanding that there's no Franz Wagner, that you're going to need to get offense from somewhere, and that this team is typically better when he's aggressive. Well, I thought he took that to heart. He was very aggressive. He made things happen. He was a difference maker last night, Anthony Black.
Think about what it means with him in the starting lineup and what kind of flexibility it gives Coach Mosley defensively. He got a shout out after the game from Coach for the job he did on Tyler Hero, which, Hero was 7 of 17 last night. He got going early, but they shut him down the rest of the way. He was 0 of 6 from 3-point range. And against a team like Miami that doesn't have a lot of size on the perimeter, you're trotting out Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, and Anthony Black, and that's with Franz Wagner injured. I mean, you just think about the depth. Coach Mosley talks about depth and defense. And when you got injuries and you got to kind of try to tread water for a couple of weeks, depth and defense, that travels. And when you got a guy like AB who you can bring off the bench, or Tristan who can defend multiple positions, it just makes it so much easier to try to tread water for a couple of weeks when you're missing an all-star caliber player like Franz.
How about Prying A saying Tristan da Silva had some kind of fire within him? I've never seen that before from Tristan da Silva. Typically, he's a cool customer, but he was pretty fired up too. Listen, there's a lot of edge. There's a lot of if you take our producer, right, Jason Dewberry, who does this show, and you tell him that there is a chance to win $500,000, there's going to be a different edge you're going to see out of that man. There's going to be a different.
And he's got edge, and Dewberry's got edge
anyway. But there's going to be a different fire. There's a different fire that comes with that. And I think that's what we saw with Tristan. I think that's a part of it. It's not all about the money, but I certainly don't think that hurts. Listen, we're going to do this. Let's get you our call of the game. Then we're going to break so we can get in our show and we can run this later on 96.9 The Game. Then we're going to stay on because these comments are great and we don't want to shortchange anybody. So we'll stay on with you. But as we close out the radio version, let's get you our call of the game. It's brought to you by Glip from Ring Central. Rethink the way you work with secure meetings and messaging on any device with Glip by Ring Central. Visit glip.com to learn more. And Jake, this is from M. Rahim 83, and he says, Goga is my hero. And I'm going to make that my call of the game because I think you feel similarly. Do you not?
I do. I am. I don't know why necessarily. He just strikes me right. Maybe it's the beard. It's the facial hair.
Sure,
the whole.
Sure.
I just love me some Goga Batadze, man. Go Gadget Arms.
Like this from J Curve. Tristan has a $500,000 madness. I love that. I think that's good. Okay, that's going to do it for this edition of Magic Insiders right here on 96.9 The Game. And we'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here, 96.9 The Game. We're all going to stay on, though. That's for the radio portion, but we want to keep these comments coming. So we're going to stay on and just hang on with you guys as long as the comments continue to come in. And anything that you guys want to talk about, we'll discuss it here. Jake, we know how people feel about the Miami Heat. So I want to see everybody's comments on the satisfaction when you saw Heat fans filing out of the building last night, all right? Because I enjoyed the heck out of that. Those "Let's Go Heat" chants were suffocated. They were snuffed out. They had every opportunity to feel good, take over the building when it was 18-2, and you didn't let that happen. Magic fans were unbelievable last night. They were loud. They were into it, and they were as big a reason as anyone that the Magic won that game last night. So that was number one. Number two, there's a lot of New York Knicks dislike. And I think there's a lot of fans on here, Jake, that are commenting that they would love to see the Magic take 3 out of 4 against the New York Knicks. And that would, of course, happen on Saturday in Vegas.
Between the Knicks and the Heat, and I'll throw the Celtics in there as well. There's just added satisfaction when we beat them at our house because they just travel well, and the Lakers too. They travel well. We get it. They've been historically very successful. Miami, you've got the geographical thing. It feels so good to win a game, especially going away, especially one with stakes. And especially because you knew, like, okay, not only does the 500,000 thing. By the way, can we stop asking whether or not it means anything and whether or not this thing has been a success?
Can we stop?
How many times are they going to answer that darn question?
Yes.
Anyways, I think you add all of that in. You got the Heat's best shot last night, right? Like that was their fastball, and it worked for about 4 minutes.
Yes,
and that is very, very, very satisfying. And I think what you saw is by about midway through the second quarter, all of the Heat fans in the building were coming to that realization. This is not a good matchup for us. And yes, we'll see what happens when we go down there. But the bottom line is, 3 times we have sent those guys packing, and last night was probably the most convincing one, all things considered. And that was their full complement of players. And by the way, that was our first game without Franz Wagner. I mean, I think the results speak for themselves.
Oh, did we? Okay, sounds like we're getting a message. What's the message say, dude? Can we get a? Listen, I am a huge fan of people falling down. That is my entire algorithm. And then I actually fell. I forget where I was, and I said, "Boy, that is not as funny as it looks to other people." And it's karma. It's instant karma. So careful what you watch for on that algorithm right there. But it's great to have George Galante checking in.
He seems busy.
He is the first one to tell me that doesn't matter what medium I'm on, he's not going to watch it. So that's impressive. I'll take that. So I think that's I think that's a win. I love this. How about this from Will Dawson saying the air balls last night from Miami were therapeutic. How about that? You are exactly right. Love the NBA Cup. Let's play. Yeah, let's play for something. You're exactly right. Big time satisfaction. Magic are for real look on their faces with the Miami Heat. And I think that's what you were just talking about, Jake. After that, after punching Orlando in the mouth and getting up 18-2, then next thing you know, it's a 1-point game. Does that look like, man, are we ever going to be able to beat these guys? Now, the Miami's going to have something to say about it when we go down there. We still, contrary to everybody's beliefs, we do have to go to Miami at some point. We've gone to Puerto Rico, and they've come here. They've come here 4 times. We are going to have to go there, and there's going to be 2 games, one in January and one in March. They're going to be ready. Those games are going to mean something. But no matter what, Jake, this is a team you could be battling in the standings. You've already won the season series. That was huge with that victory here last night. And maybe just if in the back of their minds, if things start to get tough, there's this feeling that we just can't beat these guys. That would be huge if that's what came out of last night.
And then that's added stakes on Saturday as well. That is game 82. If we advance, then the finals, it's game 83. That doesn't count as a regular season, but it's a regular season matchup against the Knicks, and we hold the season series advantage right now 2-1. But if you could come out, if you could come out of the weekend, which will be the second week of December, already having wrapped up the season series with both Miami and New York, that I think that pays dividends way beyond $500,000. Now we're talking about the ultimate prize at the end of the year.
Prying A said he really wanted the Magic to face the Raptors. I did too, but that game was never really close in that second half. And Toronto was playing without Emmanuel Quickly, without R.J. Barrett. It was going to be very difficult for them to win against New York, who got Karl Anthony Towns back. That's going to be a physical game. Listen, I don't expect Desmond Bane to fire the ball off anybody. He had a fantastic comment last night, by the way, about having to advance because he just cost himself $35,000 for that fine, throwing the balls. So he's got to start making some of that money back. So he did that. They're going to make at least $100,000 now by going to the semifinals, and you'll get at least $200,000 if you make it to the championship game. Is this true? Evan Joseph Music is saying that last night nationally, I won't call him out, but last night nationally on the broadcast, they were calling him Go-Go instead of Goga.
What?
Come on, that didn't happen, right?
I don't know.
We got to know. We got to know the guy's name is Goga Bitadze. That didn't happen, did it?
I could see maybe Del Curry misspeaking once or something like that, but I'm not gonna.
I take that
back. My guy EC. I'm gonna say Eric Collins didn't screw that up, did he?
No, there's no way. Last night might be the first time Del Curry remembers seeing Goga Bitadze. I'll give you that. I think when you played 20 years in the NBA, I think if you're not the top 3 or 4 names on everybody's roster, I don't know that you're really that concerned about it. So that could have happened. That could very well have happened.
He might have heard me say "Go Gadget," scream "Go Gadget Arms."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. See, I keep it Goga. When I do it, I go Goga Gadget Arm, and I should switch it to Go-Go. That probably is better.
That goes back to MCW. When we had MCW on the broadcast last year, he used to scream "Go Gadget Arms."
When they first announced his name, it was Go-Go, but I don't know about after the first time. Okay, so maybe I'm sure they were joking around there that first time. So either way. The Magic are going to have a couple of days to practice now, Jake, and this is rare to get practice this time of year as you're trying to replace. You're trying to work in a new rotation. Now you have options, right? So let's look forward to the New York Knicks coming up on Saturday. You got a win last night with Anthony Black. You're now 3-2 with Anthony Black as a starter. He's getting you about 15 points per game. Might that be where you stay? Are you tempted to go back to Tristan da Silva in that starting lineup, assuming the Knicks are going to have Karl Anthony Towns back, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson? There's going to have a ton of size on that New York Knicks roster. Where could you see the starting rotation going for that game?
It's a great question. And, we were kind of joking about the fire that Tristan had last night. It could have been because he expected to be in the starting lineup. It wasn't. Like, that's, I think, maybe a potential outcome. I think you've got both options, right? I mean, you've got a little bit of added size if you go with Tristan, but I think you feel very comfortable with Anthony Black. And the bottom line is there were several games towards the end of Tristan starting as Paulo was getting near his return where AB was on the floor in crunch time. So I think what matters most is who closes the game out. That's right. I think you would probably feel comfortable with either of those guys, especially if Tristan's going to knock down shots. And that's the big key there is, do you feel like you need a little bit more spacing with Paulo back in the rotation, or are you looking for maybe a little bit more playmaking and a little bit more creation, and certainly a little bit more action in transition with AB? I think you got two pretty good options there. If I had to handicap it, I would say you stick with what you had last night, because it sure felt like it worked when all was said and done.
The interesting thing to me is that the Heat come in second best team in fast breaks. So they're second in fast break scoring. The Magic are now third, right? So I'm looking at you look at last night's victory, right? And all the strengths of the Magic, right? Getting out in transition, second chance points, getting to the free throw line. All of those were taken away. Scoring in the paint, right? The Miami Heat knew the scouting report. Eric Spoelstra had them prepared, and they took away second chance points, fast break, all of those ways that we generate our offense. They took it away. We had to get steals. We had to create turnovers, and they only committed 8 turnovers, and you only got 8 points off your turnovers. Thank goodness you were red hot from beyond the arc. The 15 threes is what did that, but it was incredible ball movement. They're incredibly efficient. Yes. They hit mid-range jumpers. When they did get to the rim, they finished. You didn't see hardly any missed layups, right? I mean, it was an incredibly efficient night. And then they had the 3-ball going, which is the great equalizer. But if you look at the game plan, Miami did technically everything that you should do to limit Orlando and win a basketball game, but the Magic found another way to win. I think that's huge.
It's a fantastic point, and probably something that we should have talked about in the first 40 minutes. And we only shot 16 free throws last night, and we made
That's what I'm
14
saying, right?
of them. So
Right.
you're right, like free throws, second chance points, all of those things that we do, Miami took away. And a lot of times, when Miami went zone, we were able to beat that. That's been something that stymied us at times this year. And you're right, like it was because of the perimeter shooting, but the perimeter shooting, D, was because we moved the basketball and we made the right offensive play within the half court, which is what you have to do to win games in the postseason, which is what you have to do to win games against a good defensive team like Miami. And it's what you're going to have to do on Saturday. When we move the ball and generate good looks from the perimeter, that's when we go 15 for 32. And that was the difference in the game. We shot the ball better than they did against a good defensive team. And so you're right. Like what we did last night is, I think, repeatable. And it's a really good sort of lesson that this is the way we're going to have to play at times. And you might get away a little bit from your DNA, but if you're up against it, that's what you're going to have to do to generate offense in the half court. That thing was snapping around last night, and that's how you place 6 scorers in double figures. And that's why you knock down 15 threes in my estimation.
Well, in whether the shots go down or not, that's how you have to play. And I think you nailed it. I think you got to move the basketball and you got to get open looks and you live with the misses. But those kind of shots you can take. It's the dribbling into a contested three or the ball doesn't move. And there was some of that. I think that's where we got in trouble to start the game. But they certainly figured that out. How about this? I met Anthony Parker last night. We thanked him for his moves and his office work.
Yeah.
I think that's great. We saw Anthony Parker at halftime, and we said, "Hey, pack your bags, baby." And he goes, "There's an entire second half to be played." He's spoken like a true GM. You're exactly right. Last thing, just going through the last couple of comments. Blake Griffin got Goga Bataze's name right and gave him credit in the post-game show. So there you go, Jake. You called that on the broadcast last night. You were right on it there at the end of the game. Credit Goga Bataze for the job he did turning this game around. And you're exactly right. Okay, last thing, and then we're going to get out of here. And this has been great hearing from everybody. We love the comments. And we had almost, at one point, I think we were up to 11 people that were watching. So I think I'll take that, Jake.
Including George.
Including George. So that's a huge win. No,
this was 5.
This was by far the best interaction that we've had. The most people that we've had watching and staying on with us. So we can't thank you guys enough. This is a lot of fun, and this is why we try to do this once a week and try to build this and try to answer any questions that you guys might have. But I think the burning question we want for you, Jake, is who do you want in the finals in Vegas, right?
That's what I was going to ask you. That was
so we've got OKC, we've got the Lakers still alive, we've got the Spurs, and we've got Phoenix still alive. So as we look at that, I personally think, who do I want to play out of all of that? I want revenge on the Spurs. I want to pay the Spurs back for what they did just here a couple of days ago. I'd love to get another look at the Lakers. Wouldn't that be amazing? Play the Lakers 3 times in one year. I know that hasn't happened before. But I think we're getting OKC. I think OKC is going to lose 9 games the entire year. That's my guess.
They are nuts.
It's insane.
Yeah, I tonight I'm pulling for OKC and the Lakers. I think I feel like it would be really, really cool to go to Vegas and potentially play New York and Los Angeles. So I think that's what I'm pulling for. What an atmosphere that would be, and I'd have to pinch myself to get to call that game against Los Angeles. I think you're probably right, but the Spurs getting a chance to play the Spurs again and exact a little revenge wouldn't be a bad consolation prize. So I guess the answer is anybody but Phoenix.
I guess it's sure. Well, think about this, though. Think about this. On a national stage, right, in Las Vegas with the sports world watching, the 4 teams left standing could be New York, right? Powerhouse, fan base, all that stuff. A huge fan base. Now, one of the original NBA teams. OKC, the defending champs, the best team in the NBA, one of the best starts in NBA history. The Lakers, the second most NBA championships in the entire league, and the Orlando Magic. That could be the 4 teams that are representing the NBA when we start this thing on Saturday. How cool is that?
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome, and it's this is gonna be really cool, man. I'm really excited. It's a lot. We're gonna stay out there if we win, so it's gonna be a very long trip. I'm packing for weeks out on the road, but what a cool experience, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun for everybody involved, and hopefully hopefully we're able to extend the trip a little bit and get a dub on Saturday.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Pack that bag. You're going to be out there for quite some time, and we'll leave you with this from Will Dawson. If Magic Insiders has 100 viewers, I am one of them. If they have 10 viewers, I am one of them. If it has one viewer, it is me.
What can we add to that? We love you, Will.
Yeah, we love you, Will. We love
everybody from day one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We appreciate everybody commenting. This is awesome. Let's do it again next week when Jake is in Las Vegas getting ready for the final. This is awesome. Have a great trip, Jake. Thank you so much, everyone, for commenting, and that'll do it for another edition of Magic Insiders Live on the Magic YouTube channel.